So here we are with MLA formatting, a very important thing to learn, especially considering for the rest of your life, whenever you write a paper, every single teacher you're going to encounter is going to expect you to use this, including me and Mr. Taylor. So MLA stands for Modern Language Association. Since 1983, that's when this became standardized. It's how you format and cite any paper you write in the humanities and the arts. Pretty much every college class and high school class, no matter where, if you were to move to New Mexico or Alabama, they'd use MLA formatting too in any high school. This is what you use. So this entire PowerPoint that I'm using in this screen capture in this video, I will have up separately so you can go back and get all these resources. So just don't worry about trying to write this all down and capture all this. I'll have that PowerPoint up and available for all of you. But let me just talk about a few things. This MLA citation guide here is this great PDF that has all the different ways that you cite or write into a bibliography any type of text or resource that you might use. For example, if you have a book with more than 7 authors, as you see here, or encyclopedia, how you cite that, or a newspaper, for example. There's just tons of information on here on how to cite, and it tells you how to cite within MLA, APA, and then CMS, which APA is often used in social sciences, like history, for example, but MLA is also used, but there's that resource for you there. And if you feel like teaching yourself and you don't really want to listen to me drone on and on and on, this website right here is fabulous. So you can follow the link to this website, which you'll see right here. Purdue Online Writing Lab has a ton of information on how to do MLA formatting. I mean, more than I could go over in 15 minutes with you. Lots of general guidelines and more in-depth guidelines as well. And we're going to come back to this image actually pretty quickly. All right, also I want to tell you about easybib.com. This website here is wonderful. It helps you build a free bibliography. So see how MLA here is free? If you want to do APA or the other kind, you have to pay for this, and luckily MLA is free. So the way this works is whether you're doing a website or a book or a newspaper or anything else, you just type in like a keyword. So let's say I wanted to do the book Mice and Men. I want to cite this book properly. So I would type in the title, I hit cite this, and then I try and find the one that I want to use. It's looking, there we go, John Steinbeck. That looks great, select that. I can make sure that everything looks right to me. This is obviously a version of the book that was published by this company in Oxford in the year 1975. That may or may not be the version we're using, but whatever. You hit cite, create citation there, and then voila, look at that, I have citations. Now I can either save this for later, I can save it as a Google Doc, I can print it off as a Word document, but it basically creates for me a bibliography, everything cited correctly according to MLA formatting. So it's a great tool for you guys to use. I highly recommend using it. Okay, here's some basics about MLA formatting. When you're writing an essay or any type of written document for the rest of your life, you have to use size 12 font. You have to use Times New Roman. This right here, the reason is why I use Times New Roman, because the italic font is really different from the regular non-italic font, which is why they want you to use Times New Roman. 1-inch margins. A margin is the area space around the outside of the paper. Make sure it's 1 inch all around. Your heading is on the left, upper left-hand side is usually where your heading goes up in that area. You make sure to double space. I'll talk about how to do that. And page numbers you do on the top right corner. Okay. So do you know how to do all these? Do you know how to indent? Do you know how to double space? Do you know how to set your margins, write your heading, add page numbers? If you know how to, awesome, fast forward. If you don't, let me show you a little bit really quickly here. Okay. So I did mention how we go back to this web page here for MLA formatting. So you'll note this is a first page of an essay perfectly formatted. This here is the heading. Okay, so you'll see how it starts off with the person's name, the instructor's name, the class. So you guys would write like Language Arts 9 or World History 9, and then the date. Right here we have the page number plus the person's last name. That is how you do it. You put your last name and then a page number in the upper right hand corner. I can show you how to do that when you add headings. We have the title right here. Now, titles are supposed to be underlined pretty much everywhere, and MLA formatting is not necessarily necessary. I'm going to tell you myself as an English teacher, I like seeing underlined titles. It helps distinguish it. It's not against the rules of MLA formatting, so since it's not, I say do it. And then you'll note, see here, right here, there's a space that's even every single time for each paragraph. That's indenting, and you indent a very specific way. Now, if you've never indented the correct way, let me show you how. So here is a nice blank document on Word. First off, I'm going to my layout to my margins. You'll notice that left and right are automatically too big. They need to be 1 inch, so I'm just changing that real fast. And then in document elements, I can go to header here, and I can add a nice header. And there's lots of fancy ones. Quite frankly, keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to get rid of these two because your header is supposed to be up over here, but I would put Bowley and then page 1. And then from here forward, my header should automatically give me page 2 each time. If not, you can go in and change that page 2, 3, 4 as you need it. Now I'm back into my actual document. So writing my header up. Okay, now I would skip a space and then I'd write my title, whatever it might be. Now you'll notice, you'll remember from the website, the title is centered here. So to center your title, hopefully a lot of you guys know how to do this. If you go back to your home page, see your home page right here, you can just highlight your title, and these buttons here help you justify your text. I click the one that shows it's centered, and while it was still highlighted, I would make sure to underline it, because once again, Miss Bowley likes things underlined. And you skip a space and go back over to the left. Now to indent, the way you do this, most kids like to hit the space bar like 5 or 6 times. Well, that's wrong, okay? The way you indent, my dear children, is to simply hit the tab button. The tab button, if you have no idea where it is, look at your keyboard, look down at it. It's right next to the Q, kind of underneath the number 1. Hit tab. Hit it once and you automatically have the indentation you want. Alright, so hit tab to indent. That's how easy it is, and it's always indented correctly every single time. Okay, double spacing. Now to double space, just bear with me here, I have to write a bunch of stuff. I'm just making some things up. Alright, so I have several lines now, and if you don't know what that means, that is single space there. So there's no extra spacing in between. See how there's no like extra space here? It's all single spaced. Okay. To double space, you just highlight whatever it is you want to double space. And if you remember from this document here, the entire thing is double spaced. Well, that is correct, my friends. So you highlight everything. You just right click over the highlighted parts, go down to paragraph, open that bad boy up, and go to line spacing. Go down to double. Hit OK, and voila, magically everything is double spaced, completely correct. That's how you do it. Okay, so why are we citing? What's important about doing this? And I want to make sure it's very clear why you cite, why you need to give credit to ideas or words you borrow, okay? Citation, in case you're not sure what that means, is when you reference, you actually state in your essay, you write it in who or where you got the ideas that you are writing from. Now, you should only cite, you should only really use other people's ideas like 10% of the time in your essays. And the rest of your time you should really be using your own original thoughts and explanations. But if you quote someone or paraphrase or summarize from someone else and you don't, that, my friends, is called plagiarizing. It is bad. Do not do it, because if you do, guarantee you a college will kick you out, okay? Even in high school, it's a serious enough offense to lose all your credit, but colleges don't joke around, they kick you out, so don't plagiarize. Okay, now once again, you can get more in detail here when you guys look at the PowerPoint without me talking, but 3 different ways to actually cite, or 3 different ways to get other people's information into your essay. Either you quote, or you can either quote, you can either paraphrase, or you can summarize. And these detail a bit more clearly what quotations, paraphrasing, and summarizing is. You guys should have some ideas, but if you don't, please by all means go back and read a little bit more further. Come talk to me if you need some more detail. The basic rules to citing an MLA format is something called parenthetical citation. So you have to write a works cited page. That's your bibliography. That's where you go to that website, easybib.com, to create that bibliography at the end. So any resource you used, a website, a newspaper, the book Mice and Men, any of those things that you ended up using to get your information for your court cases, you make a bibliography out of it, okay? Now, parenthetical citation is where within the document where you maybe quote somebody, you have to use parentheses. Look, here's some parentheses right here. Look, there's some parentheses, so you guys get an idea of parentheses, what they are, if you didn't know them. Use parentheses to show where you got the information, okay? So this is how you cite. Basically, you put the author's last name and the page number where you got the information inside parentheses at the end of the quote or the paraphrase or the summary. So here's an example. This is a sentence from an analysis paper on poetry, and the sentence goes, romantic poetry is characterized by the, quote, spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, end quote. And then before the period, see the period's at the end there, you have in parentheses the author's name, Wordsworth, and the page number that this quote came from, 263. Note that there is no comma in between the two. Don't use a comma. Now, in case you are writing a sentence where you put the author's name inside your sentence, so you actually mention it within the sentence, you don't have to mention it again in the citation, just the page number. Hopefully you see that there. Citing internet resources is very easy. All you really have to do is put whatever you use in your works cited page, that lovely page, your bibliography, whether it be the author's name of a website or an article, or the website name like say CNN.com, you just put that in parentheses. You don't have to worry about paragraph numbers or page numbers. You don't worry about that kind of stuff with internet resources, and you need to know that because most of you are going to use internet resources most of the time in your life, since internet is the most readily available source of information. So basically those are the citation rules that you follow, and if you need more details, like if you run into things like multiple authors or a book or 2 different books that have the same author last name, but they're like one's R. Miller and one is like T. Miller, then it tells you how to cite those. Anyway, you can go to this resource here, another one from the same website, and it gives you some more basic in-text citation, parenthetical citation rules, how to do all of it. So by all means, this website is one of the best websites you can use for all of your MLA formatting needs. And if you have any more questions, you can always ask me, but of course I'm going to encourage you all to just learn how to do this yourself and look it up as much as possible. I'm giving you all the resources to make this happen, and I expect from here forward for everything that we write, you use MLA formatting. Even when you do nonfiction or, when you do fictional writing, like you guys do short stories or plays, MLA formatting requires some of the same things, such as with font and margin. So that is always a standard you can hold to. Now that you're all done, I go back to the beginning of this, or go back to the project briefcase or the Mice and Men website hub to get this PowerPoint by itself without me talking on it, and you can use it as a resource.